people are calling for a boycott on PlayStation. So this is an article, boycott planned after PlayStation announces the end of disc production. PlayStation's plan to stop producing plastic game discs by January 2028 is drawing concern from gamers and local video game retailers, including a Clearwater shop owner who says they could the move could affect affordability and ownership. Got brains working great today. Jonathan Fotis, owner of M&M Video Games, said physical games give customers options that digital purchases may not. So this article goes on to basically explain that it is it's the physicality of it. PlayStation announced, hey, we're not doing physical games anymore after January 2028. That's what they're citing is the purpose behind this. But actually, there's another thing going on that I believe happened today. And it is an email that was sent out to PlayStation users, basically confirming that if you get a digital game, you don't own it. You don't own digital games. You bought a license to use it. And that reveal, combined with the fact that, hey, you aren't going to be able to have the ability to buy physical games because we're stopping production on them, that is what's causing people to go, all right, we're going to boycott Sony. So right now, we are starting to see that people are calling for the PS Blackout. They scheduled it that it's going to start tomorrow. Tomorrow is supposed to be the start of the PS Blackout, where they're calling, hey, don't log into your PlayStation, don't turn it on, don't do anything with PlayStation. We're protesting them. We're boycotting everything, all the decisions that they're doing, all the decisions that they're making. So part of it is the disc production and them stopping it. But right now, the PS Blackout is what people are calling for. Wizard.
Yes.
I got two questions. One, do you think it's going to work? But then follow up to that, do you think that is the most effective way to try and go about doing?
No, I don't think it's going to work. And is it the most effective way to go about doing this? Also, no. So essentially what these people are saying is, we're going to stop playing the games for a week, and then we'll be back after 1 week. Huh? You've given... No one's... Even the people that are participating in this aren't going to take it seriously for that week. This is the equivalent of posting the black square on your Instagram page during the whole BLM super movement in 2020. That's what this is. But it's for PlayStation gamers that don't actually want to commit to actually doing anything that moves the dial. You know, this is no balls. That's just the first thing that comes to mind. That's the best way I can describe it. They've got absolutely no balls. There is zero courage in doing this. We're not logging in for 1 week. Really? Cancel your subscription. The best method of hitting Sony in the wallets, if you're really upset about everything that's going on with the ending physical media, you don't own your games, everything's going digital, everything's going up in price. See, PlayStation and Sony have done all of these, I guess I would classify them as little things that then stack on top of each other. And now we get this big Jenga tower, right? Last year in 2025, we had the Switch 2. Well, the Switch 2 was very expensive, and then the games were $80. Okay, well, those were 3 or 4 big things that made that pretty solid tower. But in this case, PlayStation is a whole bunch of little Jenga things, little Jenga blocks. The easiest way to pull out the block that causes the tower to collapse is to go after the thing that they have admitted they report to shareholders, which is PlayStation Plus subscriptions. If you cancel your PlayStation Plus subscription, things will change. We know this because we've seen it happen before. Here's a really good one. Here's a really good one because it has to do with something that's very niche. A few years ago, we had a situation with Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons & Dragons. Now, that may sound silly. It's like, Dungeons & Dragons subscription? Yes, there is a D&D subscription that they have basically made it so that every person that plays D&D, you're very incentivized to get that subscription. And what happened was the company started doing things that were anti-consumer. They were doing really terrible business decisions. There was a massive movement of people that started canceling their subscriptions. And do you know what happened? They rolled back nearly everything that they were doing at the time. All of the anti-consumer things, they rolled back, and it took WotC, the Wizards of the Coast, it took WotC years to make up that ground again, to eventually do the anti-consumer things that they wanted to do, but it stalled them out for a few more years. And unfortunately, that is the approach. You have to go after the subscriptions. You have to go after them at their heels. The problem here is PlayStation buyers, most of them, like Sony has classified them, PlayStation gamers in the West, Sony thinks you're stupid.
Yeah.
They think you're stupid. They think you're a ball and gun gamer, and they're comfortable just selling to ball and gun gamers. And then they're going to be like, yeah, and we're going to do whatever we want because those gamers are too stupid to ever do anything. Hey, that's literally how they describe you in these boardrooms and in these meetings. They're like mob bosses.
They very clearly said, it was on the call meeting recently, that, they don't care.
Oh, but they phrased it nicer than they don't care. They phrased it as, oh, yes, we've heard the concerns, and we're going to be moving forward.
Yeah.
So which translates to they don't care. Yeah.
They don't care.
That's right.
Oh, we hear you. We're still moving forward. We're not changing our course. We're not doing anything about it.
That's right.
Do you think there is the sensation that if you were to get we've seen it before, if you get enough people to actually cancel their subscriptions, there's a likelihood that they will actually do something about it. Guys, we're just not going to use it sounds and feels like the most like elementary school's approach. Like, this sounds like an elementary school kid. Like, well, it sounds like the most like, well, we want pizza for lunch, so we're not going to eat our lunches for the next couple of days until we get pizza for lunch. Like, that's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like, because it's only for a week. How long are PSN subscriptions for? They're a month-by-month basis. A week is going to be a blip to them. Do you really think that's really going to change anything that Sony's doing? And if you come back after a week, you've now proven to Sony that you're not strong-willed enough to stay away to actually make a point. So why should they care what you think? You're not strong enough to actually go the distance. You're not willed enough to actually stop consuming the slop to be able to say something. So why should they care? But if you did get enough people together if you got enough people together to cancel their subscriptions, they're going to end up having to do something, because now it goes to the top. It goes to the shareholders. Well, why is our subscription numbers down? It's, well, people aren't happy about the decisions that we made. Okay, well, I don't think this is the fact that is it true that they're only calling for a week?
They're literally only calling for 1 week. That's correct. Okay. So here's the deal. Because I think it's even more black-pilled. I view this because do you know who's talking about this? And okay, take a look at this article. Tom, before we went live and we were looking for an article that would cover this, what did it say? Spectrum News 9? So this is some local news outlet that's covering this, because before we just went live, or before we started recording, there was no other major gaming publication that was covering the boycott. Furthering that, the people that are calling for this boycott in this way of it being a slap with a napkin is the mainstream shill gamers. So this is basically a plant. This is a planted event. I wouldn't believe it any other way other than it's a planted event. You don't have any major publications talking about it. And the people that are talking about it are the shills who are on PlayStation payroll, more or less. Oh, we're going to stop playing for 1 week. And that's going to do nothing. But the people, and see, you're catering to dummies. Because the people who think that, well, I'm going to participate in this and that'll show them, they're going to think that they've done something. Yeah. People will truly believe we did fight back, you guys, and it wasn't enough. The big bad gaming company beat us. So that's nuts.
Because didn't play my PlayStation for a week. I didn't, how hard it was for me to not sit in game for all day? I really made a difference. No, you didn't do anything because you were right back to it. Oh my god. Oh,
Yeah. So
Hey,
you're grifting on the less intelligent. Yeah.
This is nuts. This is nuts. I think there is a point to be made about how the constant it is. This year has just been Sony and PlayStation making decisions that are very anti-consumer, very anti-gamer, and it hasn't been a break from it. This entire year has just been, oh well, they're doing this. There was the DRM thing. There's stopping the games, telling you to your face, you don't own your digital games. You don't own them. We own them. You have a license to use them. We can take it away at any time. You don't own anything. Anything that you don't own anything. It's very hard to make but we've done it at the conventions. We've talked to people. Do you like this? Oh, we don't like it. Really don't like that they're doing it. Okay. You going to change anything? Are you going to change your habits? No. They'll probably get the PS6 and play the games, but I don't like it.